This is my sketchbook, but it's not just any sketchbook, it's my storyboard sketchbook. Every word idea, every scene in my head starts here. Like road signs on a map guide you to a destination, every line, every box, every scribble here points somewhere, to a story, to a final shot. These aren't just drawings, they're decisions. What to show, what to hide, when to move the camera, when to stay still. Storyboarding isn't just preparation, it's exploration. It's where I find the soul of the shot. Without a map, you wander, but with a storyboard, you discover. I used to just dive in, shoot, and hope it worked. Most of the time, it didn't. With a storyboard, I can see the story before it exists, discovering ideas I'd never noticed while filming, and turning vision into reality. So today, I'll be sharing the rules I follow, the language of storyboarding, and how it shapes every shot. I'll be breaking down how to storyboard like a god. First, we have to talk about the frame. This box, this is your camera. Everything inside it matters. Everything outside, gone. Every storyboard panel starts with a frame, but not every frame is created equal. The shape matters. 16 by 9, 4 by 3, vertical, square. That's your aspect ratio. Choose it based on where your film lives. YouTube, Instagram, theaters. Once you draw the box, ask yourself, what will the audience see first? Good framing is invisible. So before you draw anything inside the box, know this. This isn't just a rectangle, it's your lens. And your lens tells the truth you want people to see. Once your frame is set, you need to decide who or what the shot is about. Inside the box, you place your subject. Not just who the scene is about, but what the audience should care about right now. You don't need to be DaVinci. Use stick figures, circles with arms, scribbles. I like to draw the action I'm doing. Drinking coffee, sneaking a look, reaching for a button. The subject doesn't always have to be a person. It can be a light turning on, an object, a prop. As long as it draws attention, it's your subject. If it moves the story forward, then it belongs in the frame. How you position the subject in the frame changes everything. This is where composition begins. Centered, that suggests control. Off to the side, that suggests distance or imbalance. Use leading lines to pull attention. Use foreground and background to create depth. Think in thirds, diagonals, and symmetry. Composition is more than shapes, it's meaning. Good composition makes people feel something. Free, small, powerful. If a shot feels too neat, mess it up. If it feels too messy, frame it tight. You're not just arranging shapes, you're arranging meaning. Next up, shot type. It's the first thing I decide after drawing the box. Wide shot, medium wide, medium close up, extreme close up, over the shoulder, POV, insert, cutaway, tracking shot. A wide shot establishes the space, setting scale, and distance. The medium wide still shows the environment, but now it brings us closer to the character. The medium shot is neutral ground, natural for interaction and dialogue. Move into medium close-up and emotions begin to surface as the focus shifts to the face. The close-up pushes the intensity further, letting the face carry the weight of the moment. An extreme close-up narrows everything down to a single detail, creating maximum focus and attention. An over-the-shoulder shot combines perspective and context, while a POV shot goes further, letting the audience see directly through the character's eyes. Inserts highlight specific details, objects, actions, notes that move the story forward. Cutaway shifts attention to reactions or secondary elements due to reading between moments. A tracking shot introduces momentum, following movement and injecting energy into the scene. And then there's the static shot, completely still, no motion. It gives the scene space to breathe, letting stillness feel amplified. I use this type of shot a lot. Each shot is a tool, but more than that, it's a choice. The right one doesn't just show the story, it makes you feel it. Now, shots can be still or full of motion, but storyboards are just drawings of still images. So how do we show movement? With arrows. Arrows on the subject means they're moving, walking, turning, pointing, jumping. Arrows around the frame means the camera is moving, panning, zooming, tilting. Dotted lines equals path, like a character walking across the frame. Double arrows equals stronger movement, faster motion. Motion brings energy, use arrows to choreograph it. With motion mapped out, there is one more thing I always add. Tiny notes below each frame that whispers context, dialogue, and mood. Not full scripts, just what matters. What happens in this frame? What does someone say? What's the mood? Sometimes it's a small line of dialogue. Sometimes it's a reminder for a future idea. These are your director's whispers. Future you will thank you for them. Once you've got frames, subjects, motion, and notes, it's time to see how they work together, one frame at a time. That's sequencing. A single frame is a moment. A series of frames, that's a story. Think of each panel as a beat. Together they create rhythm. Slow shots stretch into long, quiet panels. Fast cuts break into tight, segmented frames. Sequence reveals pacing. Sequence builds tension. Ask yourself, what changes from panel to panel, and why now? Don't just stack shots. Craft them to build momentum. Momentum that shapes rhythm, tension, and release. That's where the story lives. And when you start thinking about momentum, you realize you need tools to keep track of it all. That's where my favorite storyboarding tools come in. You don't need anything fancy. Most of the time I storyboard straight to my sketchbook. But when I want cleaner layouts, I switch to template sheets. And then there's Notion. It's basically my second brain. I use it for planning video outlines, writing scripts, collecting reference boards, and even tracking the progress of my projects. The best part is that it syncs across all my devices, so if an idea hits me by 2 a.m., I can just drop it in and pick it up later on my laptop. It's also great for linking everything together. Script notes, storyboard scans, short lists, they all live in one place. This video isn't sponsored by Notion, by the way. I don't have that kind of tool yet. And then there's frame sets, my go-to when I need visual inspiration. It's basically a massive library of film stills. If I'm stuck on how to frame a shot or want to study composition and lighting, frame set is where I go. Also not sponsored by frame set, by the way. I wish. At the end of the day, whatever tool you use, just make sure it helps you maximize your creativity. Hey, so what do you use storyboarding for? Well, if it isn't clear yet, storyboards aren't just for big things. I use them for pitching, organizing my thoughts, and planning my shots. So, it isn't compulsory to start out with a storyboard, but if you are me that like visualizing plans before executing, then try out storyboarding. Because if you can visualize it, you can film it. So now you know. You don't need to be an artist, you need to be a communicator. You're not sketching, you're directing. Every shot you draw is a promise, a decision to make the story clearer, deeper, bolder. You start with a box, then you add a figure, then you breathe life into it. And when you line those frames up, you create worlds. So stop waiting to feel ready. Pick up a pen, draw your first frame, tell your story like a god.